Hey guys, welcome to Florida, where it's burning hot and the sun never stops. We like our heavy metal music here just as much as we love the weather and the people. So what we do is we play all original metal. We are Skinharvest, and we're about to take you on a wild, behind-the-scenes ride to show you all the work, all the dedication that goes into the production of a modern-day metal band. So stay tuned, stay good, and we love you. We're gonna burn it up. Take care.
Hey, I wanted to thank all the fans that are in response to the Mooney Metal Fest. It's almost like sold out. That's why we had to do a second night. Now it's like, wow, I'm overwhelmed at the response, and I Don't take any shit from fucking anybody, and we're gonna feed you that fucking message. It's a cold fucking world, blood. No mercy.
Mr. Zip,
When you
write your riffs, are you trying?
I'm primarily writing my riffs for the average metal listener that probably has a house or a wife or a girlfriend or a job, but they like not death metal, but they just like mainstream metal. Bands like Disturbed, Five Finger Death Punch, Metallica.
And can we come and interview the 4th and 5th member of Skinharvest?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So, right here, we got one of the mascots. See, we call him Mr. Blood Eye. And if you stare at him, unfortunately, you die. His eyes are so red that they can stare into your soul and reap all of the blood. He stares through you and the wall, the tree outside, the school bus. It's almost magenta. Now we have the second one that's very important.
They always go back to that.
Well, see, look. As you can see, these bunnies are operating in what you call twin instinct. They are both doing the same thing, which is called being a bunny. Jaybird, here's my question for you. Should we be musicians operating on that same instinct to make the band the best as it can?
I agree.
You think so?
Yep.
So there might be something to learn from bunnies is all I'm saying. Let me ask you the second question. All right. Oh, sorry. Let me let you sit. I don't want to be too intrusive about these questions.
What?
Okay. So when we're making a song, what do you try to get across to the audience? Are you trying to tell them a message? Are you just trying to punch them in the face? Is it an emotional thing, a primal thing? Is that what you do, or what do you do?
No, not even close.
Not even close.
What I block out of my mind is my
Yeah.
talent to go how fast I can do it, and I've done all that shit. I listen for catches and hooks. And I'm gonna clarify that right now. When we're all dead and gone, you will still hear Back in Black by AC/DC. Bump, bump, bump. Is that difficult drumming? No. It's all catch and hook. Because I'm back in black. It's so important to follow verse, your pre-chorus, your chorus, and do it. You can show and express your talent. You can go a million miles an hour, go listen to all these rudiments I've done, look at how talented I am. If the song doesn't have catch and hook and it's not memorable, you got fucking shit. That's why I still listen to Fleetwood Mac. If you put in the album Rumors from start to finish, you could play that for me on a desert island.
So
you know why? Is Mick Fleetwood a brilliant drummer? No. The songs are well written and well put out. Beautiful harmonic backing vocals. No one's focusing on that right now. They're just going like this.
It's a little bit more about the songwriting than it's really about a physical production of who can play the fastest or who can sweep the most notes. You're saying is that if you talk a lot and say nothing, if your message
You go back to, I don't know what gazillion years ago. Think about production, right? How important is it? It wasn't important back then in the 70s or 60s when I wasn't even born. But there's a song called For Your Love by the Yardbirds. For your love, I'll give you diamond rings and more, and that's for sure. Great song. By today's standards, terrible production, right? But the song stands the test of time. I was in between Milwaukee and Chicago, and I seen a band, a punk hardcore band, do For Your Love, the fastest you've ever seen it played in your life, the tightest you've ever seen it played in your life, double the speed of Slayer. And the band did that locally and then just disappeared. And I would go down to these little shithole, rat hole fucking clubs in the hood to see them. And the drummer had like a 3-piece drum set that looked like it was out of a pawn shop. And he would hit these cymbals on dun dun for your love, and it was cranking faster than any punk or hardcore band I've ever seen do it. And I'm looking at the drummer. He's got a mohawk. And I remember him doing the cymbal grabs. And I'm like, how is that humanly possible? That you can grab cymbals like that tight, and speed up the Yardbirds and do it twice the speed of Slayer.
Now that's dedication.
And it's stuck in my mind. They had no merch. They had no album out. They were punk. They were hardcore. They didn't give a fuck. And I think the singer's name was Jimbo, and he was originally from Kenosha, Wisconsin, and they just disappeared like nothing. And this would have been the best punk hardcore band you've ever seen. And they did have originals, but they did the Yardbirds For Your Love. And I would wait for that song to come on, and the pit would fucking explode. And what I liked about what the punk and hardcore thing about that version of it was, they did it so tight. And so what happened, generations later, an album came out from Slayer called Undisputed Attitude. And I remember Hanneman saying, I love all the songs, all the bands on that, but you know, punk and hardcore was kind of sloppy and whatever. Let's do that, but do it tighter, faster, and harder. And that's why when Undisputed Attitude came out, when I came into Jam with Slayer, when Paul had left, I remember sitting in an SUV in Southern California, listening to, I think the track was Gemini, and it sounded like Helmet. But I heard the Minor Threat track that they did, and I didn't think about Slayer. I didn't think about anything else but this. Why can't there be a band somewhere in the world that sounds like Undisputed Attitude? That album from Slayer. And there's never been one since. Punk, hardcore, whatever. I think the closest you could probably get is maybe Hatebreed, but still not as you do it.
Okay, because Floppy's got something to say for you.
Yep.
Okay. Here's the thing, is that in my mind, a production is as good as the equipment that was used to produce it. But songwriting is forever, and here's why. Because you can always make a song with better production. But you can't rewrite a song and then produce. I mean, if you rewrite a song, at that point it's a different song. So the production is less important than the songwriting itself. However, isn't it sweet when you got both? Now I'll let Jay-Bird talk to you a little about Slayer.
I didn't want to make it about Slayer, but
I love when you make Floppy loves when you make it about Slayer.
okay. But what I'm getting at is with yeah, I know the combination Slayer thing is the reason I was attracted to Slayer was not because of metal, because it was the closest you could get to punk and hardcore. It was almost like you took Iron Maiden and combined it with punk and hardcore.
I think
that's what turned me on.
Punk when you play metal. If you try to play metal and you don't bring in the element of punk, then you've forgotten what metal's about.
Well,
metal is not this neoclassical hoity-toity shit. Metal, you have to have an element of, you don't want me here, but I'm here anyway. If you don't have that, well, hey.
But you have to understand something. When I came into it, I wasn't thinking, again, like about groove and vocals and the bass and the guitar. I was like, how fast can a human possibly go? And I'm just talking on an upbeat. I was doing like triple the speed of Megadeth and Metallica, where I was playing in a tribute band out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin called Thrasher, and we added this song Whiplash. And we had phenomenal players, and we were doing Whiplash, and they're like, listen, dude, you need to slow the fuck down. So we're in the middle of a rehearsal, and I go, what do you want me to do? And they go, I want you to do it at Kill 'Em All, Metallica, speed, from the first original album. So I did it, and we did the song, and I went through it, and all of a sudden, I'm shaking my heads over the cymbals, and I go, guys, I feel like I'm doing a country beat. Boom, 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 boom. I go, we got to amp this shit up. And I'm not talking like Fucking Hostile by Pantera. I was doing double the speed on that on Whiplash. And the guitar player goes to me and he goes, incredible. I'm not going to say his name. He goes, I cannot pick that fast. Slow it fucking down, motherfucker. I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen.
How fast is too fast?
I'm not going to do double kick.
No, you don't have to.
I'm going to do up tempo. I'm talking suicidal tendencies.
We're going to start slow, and then we're going to keep going, and we're going to see how fast is too fast.
Okay, so we start like this.
I'm going to let the drum.
We'll start with the country beat. Neither was I.
You're pussing out on me, man.
I was sick in the hospital.
That's no excuse.
Listen, that was slow for me.
That's fucking slow. That was slow. Okay. So here we're gonna go back. You don't have to be nervous. You don't have to play so slow. I know you're nervous.
I'm not nervous. I'm
You're
just
fucking
getting
nervous. You play so slow. You think he thinks he's trembling.
If you pull me out of a hospital bed after bladder stuff and tell me to work like a racehorse, I gotta build it up. I'm sorry. It's like building up an erection.
He thinks he's a racehorse.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna play it again.
What do you want? Blood?
Yeah. I'll get it started this time. Okay. Here we go. But Jaybird, okay, look, he keeps no. We have to think about the people. If we were to play more than 20%, their minds might explode, and you know what might happen? That's unprofessional, and we got to be respectful of their minds.
I'm not healthy yet.
Oh, louder.
say hello.
Hello.
And I just had some fucking prick that closed the men's room down at the fucking beach, and I used the women's bathroom. And he wanted to be a fucking tough guy. And I'm like, dude, what's the fucking problem? And he goes, there would be a problem if, you know, so-and-so came in here and this and that. Listen to me right now. Don't get pissed off because you're scrubbing toilets, because we're fucking rock stars.
Look,
I gotta start smacking you around.
I used that bathroom an hour early. There's no problem. They just want to keep it closed.
Why was he being such a cocksucker?
Because he's a jerk.
Thank you.
You know,
I fucking love this shit. Hook to the pedal to the metal.
I've got another question for you. If we want to pay these musicians more, where's the money going to come from, huh? People ain't going to bars no more. People ain't paying for music. Everyone's downloaded off of LimeWire. Where's this money coming from to pay the musicians?
They're hiding it.
They're hiding it?
Yep.
Do you think that it's right that the owner of Spotify pockets billions of dollars at the expense of hardworking new musicians that are struggling to break out of the industry?
They're taking advantage of you.
Yeah. And what do you say to all those people that are taking advantage of the hardworking musicians that care about music a little bit more than money?
Chinga tu madre.
Is it a shame?
That's Spanish for go fuck your mother.
Well, there you have it.
And it's not easy, it's not for the timid, and it's not for the weak. But if you got a strong heart, you got love for the universe, and you enjoy your metal flaming hot like we do in the swamp, you're gonna love this. So stay tuned and stay high. See ya.
That is an otter.
Hell yeah.